I don't do the whole weird energy, people acting funny towards me. You acting funny? I don't care. I will cut you off. Please don't play. I don't have time for weirdness. I do not want to sit around and sit and think and wonder, what did I do? What happened? Why are they acting funny towards me? We were cool 2 days ago. Now all of a sudden you have a problem with me. I ain't got time for that. Life is too short to sit around and guess and wonder what's wrong with somebody. Tell me what's wrong. Did I do something? Or are you just a weirdo?
If you're a happy person and you like who you are as a person and you're secure in who you are as a person, miserable people are going to fucking hate you. I've always been very bubbly and I never understood when I was younger why so many people would get so irritated by that. But now that I'm grown, I see like mentally happy people, confident people, secure people never have an issue with that. It's only the most miserable, insecure person you will ever meet in your life that will not like you for being yourself. Because they hate themselves so much that they hate that you do not hate yourself. So then they're gonna try to make you feel like shit about yourself.
Here's your reminder to stay away from people who start drama for no reason, then act like a victim in the problem that they created. Those people are poison. Here's your reminder to stay away from people who start drama for no reason, then act like a victim in the problem that they created. Those people are poison.
This year, I am more than ever in my leave them era, okay? Whatever I'm leaving them in, weirdness, unsupportiveness, bad vibes, jealousy, negativity, I am leaving them where they're at. I'm not trying to figure out what's going on in someone's head. I'm not trying to be a mind reader. I'm not trying to do this. I'm not going above and beyond for people that don't do it for me. I'm leaving them. I'm leaving them. I'm leaving them right where they're at. The older I've gotten, the more I've realized sometimes when someone shows you exactly who they are and how they feel, just leave them. Don't go try and remix it in your brain and be like, no, but it's this, but it's that, but they're this. No. Leave them right where they're at.
Once you start acting weird, you start acting funny, you start acting like a baboon, you start acting like a buffoon. That's the first and the last time you ever hear from me. I'll be gone like a ghost in the night. Don't worry about me coming back to you to ask any stupid question. How do you feel? What is the reason for you switching up? Because I don't bloody care. Acting bizarre, acting strange. Don't worry about me coming back to come and ask you any question. I will not ask you any fucking shit. I'm not going to message you to ask anything. You can be going, yeah. See you later. Arrivederci.
One of the most grown-up things I've learned is this. When people start acting strange, I stop auditioning for the role of detective.
And if they want to start acting weird, toodaloo. I don't got time for this. No, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I have been in so many situations where people have literally just switched up like out of nowhere, and it completely caught me off guard. And even trying to address it like, hey, like what's going on? Is it something I did? Even like with friendships, relationships, like all of that. People always act as if they don't know what I'm talking about. Like, oh, you tripping, or I don't know what you're talking about. Basically just gaslighting me. If you feel in your heart that the energy is off or somebody switched up on you, 9 times out of 10, you're right. I believe in going with my intuition and going to what God be telling me in my head. So all that you're trying to do, I'm not really trying. I don't care. I don't want to hear none of that. But if you try to address something and people are like brushing it off as if you're the problem, leave them alone. That's a narcissistic trait. That is a narcissistic reaction. Do y'all know people will do things to you just to see how you're going to respond? Just to see if they can get under your skin? But you don't need to go.
Keep away from people who will use things you've told them, personal things, against you when you guys start fighting, when you guys start arguing. There is nothing more horrible than a human throwing things in your face. Things that you've told them, things that you've disclosed to them, things that you've trusted them with. For them to turn around and make you feel like shit about it. It makes you feel like you can't trust that person anymore. It's just such a low blow. It's such a bottom reach. It shows you that the other person has no leg to stand on in an argument. So they have to succumb to things that you've told them, things you've disclosed to them to throw in your face so they can win the fight. Because they know that these things trigger you. They know that these things hurt you. That is not a quality human being. That is a person that you need to keep away from.
No magnifying glass, no group chat analysis, no late night replay. Like, okay, but what did I say on Tuesday at 3:17 p.m.?
One of the biggest lessons I've learned since turning 30, I'm going to share here with you. So come and gather. Let's circle around. Yeah, leave people where they're acting weird at. Leave people exactly where they are acting weird at. It's not up to you to solve that. Yeah, no, because you're evolving, you're growing. And the thing is, if you don't want to be a part of my journey, friend, it's okay. I'm going to leave you right here. The buck stops here, right? I can't have you 1 foot in, 1 foot out, trying to figure out, should I be her friend? I see she's doing a lot. I really don't want to support her in this era, but like, still want to know what's going on? No. Let me leave you here, friend. Let me leave you with this. The moment I remove myself from the equation, I'm no longer part of the problem. Yeah. So I'm going to leave you right here and keep moving. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to send you grace and love. But that's it. Leave people where they are acting weird. Okay? I love you.
People will get annoyed when you remove yourself because of their weird behavior, and it's a really interesting space to navigate. It's almost as if they will treat you poorly or treat you weirdly and then be confused because they're dealing with the consequences of their own actions. It's a strange one to navigate, and I wish I understood the science behind it. But the sooner you understand this, the sooner you will understand that you haven't actually done anything wrong. Removing yourself from toxicity or bad behavior or just mistreatment isn't bad of you. That's actually a really healthy thing to do, to not stay in an environment that is drowning you. That is a healthy thing to do. And if someone doesn't like that, then really they should just stop treating you like that. It doesn't mean that you just have to hold more of that bad behavior. Does that make sense? I know for a lot of people, especially women who are recovering from people pleasers, being a people pleaser, I think we feel like we need to stay in these environments and we can almost diffuse that person and make the situation better. But the sooner you understand some people just are okay with treating you like that, the less you'll feel bad for removing yourself from the situation. Does that make sense? I don't know why this happened, but trust me when I say them getting annoyed at you for removing yourself isn't the problem. They just need to stop treating you poorly. Because that is the problem.
It's actually insane to me the way that people will intentionally go out of their way to be weird to you. I watched a story time yesterday about a young woman who was working at a fast food restaurant, and she was the only colored girl there. Nobody else wanted to do the dishes like ever at this restaurant, so she overheard a conversation about them like saying they'll make her do it. So at first she was kind of upset about it and irritated, but then she said she started to enjoy doing the dishes. Once she started to enjoy doing the dishes, she would go around and ask like, hey, I'm going to do the dishes today. Are you okay with that? And of course, since nobody else liked to do them, they would say, I don't care. Go ahead and do them. So over time, she's getting used to doing the dishes. Like she's becoming the dishwashing person. Tell me why the next day, I guess she said another girl was doing the dishes. Then the next day she was doing her usual like she had did the previous weeks, like going around like, hey, are you okay with doing the dishes? Now keep in mind, normally everybody will say no and have her go do them, but this time they had to start. So okay, cool, another day goes by and she's asking around like, hey, I'm gonna do the dishes, does anybody have a problem with that? Somebody else wanted to do the dishes. So towards the end of the week, it got to the point where everybody had to take turn doing the dishes because now everybody wanted to do the dishes. But when she first got assigned, she got assigned because nobody wanted to do them. But when they noticed that she started to enjoy doing it, now everybody want to go out their way to do the dishes.
If the vibe is off, I let it be off. I don't chase it down the street yelling, explain yourself. Because adulthood taught me something real simple. Confusion is expensive, and I don't budget for it anymore. I used to think maturity meant fixing things, smoothing things over, being the bigger person. Now I realize sometimes maturity is just quietly exiting the building, like, this isn't for me. Godspeed, though.
The realest thing that I've learned about adulthood is literally leaving people where they act weird at and just leaving it at that. Not wondering why they're acting weird, not wondering why they're moving a certain way, not going out of your way to inquire why they're moving that way, and just legitimately allowing them to be off in their own space where the weird stuff resides. At the end of the day, I've realized as an adult, the more energy that I invest in wondering why other people are moving a certain way or wondering why their actions are rubbing me the wrong way or just overall wondering why they choose to have one foot in my life and one foot outside of my life when they could just have both feet outside of my life, I am taking away from the plot. And what the plot is me. When it comes to my reality, I will only have people around me that are providing dividends to my life. I refuse to surround myself with people that are trying to divide me. And that's what a lot of times these people are trying to do, because they don't even really know what their real problem with you is. They just have a whole lot of animosity because you keep winning. And that's one thing about my God. He do not play about me. I'm going to keep winning.
It's okay to walk away from people who express weird behavior towards you. I turned 30 in 4 months and I've been reflecting on things that I would tell my 20-year-old self. You are going to come across people in your life who will consider themselves friends, and you will probably consider them friends as well, but you will experience them treating you weird or making passive-aggressive comments towards you. You will come across people that often leave you feeling uneasy or unsettled or just off. I'm a strong believer in listening to that gut feeling and following that. Do not chase their approval. Do not internalize their judgment of you. Just walk away. I am someone who for a long time was quite an overthinker. It's something I'm still working on. But when I came across people who I considered myself to be cool with treating me that way, it often left me feeling like I was questioning a lot because I couldn't understand why. But I've just learned to accept that everybody is not for you. You're not going to be best friends with everyone, and you can still lead with love and kindness and just do that from a distance. It is so okay to walk away from those relationships, and it's actually really important that you do. Whatever their reasoning is for acting out on you that way is between them and God. That's what I always say, but it's not for you to figure out. It's not for you to sit and dwell on. Just let it go, move forward. And sometimes it sucks, especially if it's a friend or someone that you were close to, or maybe even a relationship. It is so important that you don't internalize that criticism towards you and that you just walk away from that relationship.
You want to know why other women act weird when you enter the room? You want to know why they look at you up and down? You want to know why they, don't speak when you enter the room, or they'll make a slick comment about, something you're wearing. You want to know why they act weird? They're acting weird because you trigger them. Your light, your aura, it exposes the things that they try to ignore about themselves. They look at you and they see what's possible. They look at you and they see what they could have been. They look at you and they see hope. They see a future. They see all the time that they wasted. They see how they settled. They see how they settled for mediocrity. They're not going to admit it to themselves, and they're definitely not going to admit it to you, but that is a them problem. That's not your problem. So continue to walk with your head held high, your standards even higher, because you deserve everything that this life has to offer.
See, when someone treats you funny, there are only two options. They're going through something, or they are something. Either way, that's not a group project. I stopped wondering why someone has one foot in my life and the other foot tapping toward the exit. Baby, take both feet. Grab your bag, I'll hold the door. Because the moment I remove myself, the chaos loses its audience. I'm no longer in the scene. I'm not the villain. I'm not.
Yeah, once you realize that is not a friendship, that is just a weirdo with a little access to you, cut that shit off. Literally. So I went through this year, and I've gone through this before, and I don't know why, I just didn't put two and two together when I was going through it again this year. But I literally dealt with an identity leech and someone who literally admired me and fiend to be close to me in every aspect. And honestly, you would have thought this person was gay for me. You would have really thought. Because it really does get to a point. You know what I mean? It's one thing to really like a person, but it's the admiration, and then on top of that trying to take my steal my identity and try to be like me, and then try to basically envy bond, just admire me to a T. All that shit is fucking weird, and it gives obsessed, because that's exactly what it is. It's
that's not a friendship. That's like obsession with like a mixture of jealousy. And I feel like as women, as a collective, we need to start peeping that shit in other women and keeping it pushing. Like, because that shit is fucking weird. And I don't believe that jealousy is something that we should just laugh about either. Like,
Not the problem. I'm just unavailable. And let me tell you, people get real confused when you stop tolerating what they never planned to stop doing. They'll act shocked, offended, like you broke a rule they made up in their head. But listen to me closely. Walking away from discomfort is not cruelty, it's clarity. Your intuition doesn't need receipts. It doesn't need a PowerPoint. If your spirit feels tight, uneasy, drained, or small, that's your answer. You don't need closure from someone who benefits from keeping you unsure. You don't need to prove you're kind by staying where you're quietly disrespected. And here's the grown woman gag. Some people aren't friends.
I laugh about it like online and stuff like that, but in real life, I think jealousy is actually very dangerous. I really do, personally. Because you never know what somebody will do because of how jealous they are of you, right? What I've noticed with these people is that, like, yes, they'll be jealous, but they'll also be like fixated on you and like have like an obsession hater vibe, but they can't stop watching you. And on top of that, like, they have this, it's like this hidden competitor vibe. You won't see it because on the outside, externally to you, it looks like support, but secretly they're trying to compete with you. Like, this happens with women all the time, like, and we need to talk about it more. Like, there's women in this world like this, and I really went through this year and was like, wow, like it doesn't matter how genuine you are or whatever, like, there will be women like this, and you have to cut them the fuck off. And on top of that, they're probably talking mad shit about you behind your back. And then in your face, they're just fucking fiending. Like, I dealt with this. Like, my phone would be ringing off the hook. Text messages, fucking TikTok messages. Like, yo, like, it was non-fucking stop. And then I had to cut that shit off because it was just too fucking much. Because it's like, why the fuck? And obviously, for me, it like didn't end well because of other reasons. And it's just kind of like, oh, you will go measures to make sure you have someone to yourself because you're just that obsessed and like you just like to create chaos to get what you want. These women exist. Keep them the fuck away from you. And if you ever fucking go through something like this, yo, please, I cannot be the only one. Like, it's just like, I'm glad you got out alive, girl.
They're spectators with opinions, competitors with smiles, fans who don't clap. That energy, return to sender. So yeah, I'm in my leave it where it lives era. I send love, I send grace. I do not send access. If someone wants to misunderstand you from afar, let them. Peace doesn't require an explanation. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is simply saying, I'm good, and meaning it.